Hello everyone, Nigel here with you, Nigel's Modelling Bench, and I've got a quick look at a brand new model today. I did a video back a couple of months ago, maybe 3 months ago, where this kit was first announced, and this is the brand new Pocher Porsche 917K, and it's in 1/8 scale as per usual, and it looks like a real beauty. This is obviously the pictures here of the prototype model, so I'm assuming the final product is going to be very, very close, if not identical to this. Certainly from a couple of feet away it's going to look exactly the same, but there may be a couple of small changes. So yeah, we can see here we have this is the model. It's absolutely beautiful, and got there with the doors open and the back end open and everything. I'm always very wary, particularly with die-cast, you know, when you buy built die-cast models and they have them in the box with all the doors and everything held open. Sometimes that means the panels don't fit very well, so when you actually get the model and close everything down, it looks bloody awful. But here you can see in this next shot that is not the case with this one. You can see it closes down and it's all lovely. If you look at some others, you'll see they have some gaps in the bottom of the doors and everything, but it's nothing us modelers can't sort out. But for those that just want to build it out of the box, you want to be able to get it together and look lovely, don't you? So there you can see, yeah, excuse me, there she is from the side. And then we've got a picture here of the interior, and you can see the interior there, the seats looking gorgeous with the belts and everything. I think the belts need to be trained to go down, perhaps glue some wire to the back of them or something, or I don't know, maybe some double-sided tape, but get them so they sit down, make them look weighty as they would do on the real thing. And we have an image here of the engine, and you can see there the massive pronounced cooling ducts, and I think they would benefit from some Kevlar decals. They'll look lovely. When I build this, I will be building one. Pocher are sending me one to build. I will be painting and maybe adding some Kevlar decals and stuff, but I won't be adding anything missing. If there's like an oil cooler missing or something, I'm not going to add it, because it's basically for them. They're giving it to me to show you how to build it out of the box. But I'll also give you some hints and tips on how to go that little step further. There are other people out there that will really go to town on it and turn it into an absolute museum masterpiece. So look out for those people as well. Then we have an image here. You can see, looking down at the top, you can see the interior and the engine, and you can see all that lovely detail down the sides and everything there. Looking stunning. Instrument panels, seat belts, steering wheel, all the engine intake and everything. It's looking lovely. And then here finally we can see one of the big things about this period of cars was the tyre lettering and the stripes on the tyres. And obviously they would be very, very hard to reproduce, so Pocher have come along and produced them for us, which is very good of them. So yeah, I mean, all in all, this kit is about £789, I think, which, you know, you may think, oh my god, that's a lot of money. But when you compare it to all the others, I think it's the cheapest 1/8 Porsche 917 out there. One of them I saw, if you look around, if you do a search for 1/8 Porsche 917, one of them is like 13 grand. That's a built model, but I think it's £13,000. Oh, what? I just think this one is all round. You know, the Agora kit looks lovely, and if you can't afford to spend the money all at once, you can spend it in monthly packages or whatever. But I think, looking at it, I think overall this is probably the nicer model, to be honest. But I haven't seen the Agora one in the flesh, but I compared pictures, and just one of the things, that the exhaust pipes on this look very, very nice. That whole area around the rear end looks lovely. Anyway, I'll stop waffling. Let's have a look at these instructions. So, as I say, the model is imminent, but these are draft instructions, I'm being told, so I can't see much is going to change, if anything at all. So, as you can see, I've printed this off on a printer, so the paper quality isn't as good as your instruction manual will be. So don't worry about the quality of the paper or anything. What we're worried about is the quality of what we're getting in this kit. And obviously without the kit we can't see the quality of it, but we can see the engineering that's gone into it. And I've had a quick look through and it looks very, very nice, I must admit. So you can see on here we've got the front cover, typical, just like the Lamborghini was. And then going over the page here, we've got some health and safety stuff. We've got some history about the aircraft, about the car itself. In fact, there's no health and safety stuff there. It's all about the car. So yeah, it's very interesting reading there. If you want to zoom in and read that, then you can. Okay, so then page 3 here, we've got the 4 images of the car. We've got some legends here, so pay attention, assembly group, this is the assembly phase, assembly order, always look at that one. This is going to be a sprue part number, so Q will be a sprue, and then the metal parts will probably be a W or something. I haven't noticed that yet. We've got cable, which is TU, which is probably tubing. This drop here shows we got to cement, so we're going to be using super glue. Generally, when I do the build, I'll show you what will work with super glue and what won't, and what will work with Tamiya extra thin and what won't. Water decals, WD as usual, and then we've got screwed parts here are shown with a cross, and pins are shown with a straight line. So don't think that's a Phillips and a slotted screw. That's a Phillips screw, and that is a pin. Here we've got our screws going across, so we've got A up to O. Okay, so and O is M6 by 35. Don't worry, that's going to be for the if you get the stand or the case that go in, that's the 2 bolts that go and hold the model in. So you're not going to need an M6 tap. But I'm seeing here they've got 1.5 by 5 PM. So I'm assuming that's Phillips metal, because here we've got PB. I don't know what B is going to stand for. Plastic. I don't know. But they're all P. You've got PWM. This is going to be PW with a washer, I think. So the taps you're going to need, if you're going to cut your threads like I do, you don't have to, but if you want to, you can. I will. You're going to need a 1.5. You're going to need a 2. You're going to need a 2.3. 2, 2.3. 2. Yeah, you're only going to need an M1.5, an M2, and an M2.3. So just 3 taps for this one. So they're all odd sizes, I think, so you'll have to get them separately. But if you've got one of these, you see this little tap set I got from Amazon. You can see this one doesn't have the 1.5, so I'm going to have to get one. It's got the 2, it doesn't have the 2.3, so you're wasting your time buying one of these, going at the individual taps. M1.5, all coarse, they'll all be metric coarse. Or wait until I start the kit and then we'll see what they actually are. You may get away with tapping the 1.4, so we shall see. Right, so going over the page, starting off here with transmission. So the transmission looks like it's in die-cast parts. DCA is probably die-cast. I think these are going to be plastic parts, so we shall see. But basically we're screwing this together and then covering it up with starter motors and mountings and everything. So there we go, we got our drive shafts coming out here with the UJs on there, so they can be oil washed and made to look pretty. There's those massive brake cooling ducts that are so visible at the back end. As I say, we'll probably get some Kevlar decals on them, and then the top of the transmission's going on. And bearing in mind, remember, the sequence they're telling you: 1, put that on; 2, put that on; build that up, put the gearbox together, add these bits, add the top, and put the back on. So the sequence is what they're telling you. That's got to be glued. This has all got to be glued. There's a couple of screws down there. The other thing that's nice on here, what they're telling you down the bottom, screw F you need 2, screw J you need 2, so that's pretty cool. And then once we've done the transmission, we're going to build the main assembly of the crankcase there. There's no internal detail on this engine like Pocher used to be, or Pocher should I say. It's sort of kind of pointless in the end. It would just add to cost, really. Because you're never going to see it. It's fun to do, it's fun to build, but it would put the price of the kit up. You'd be talking up into the cost of the Agora version then. So for all the 1/8 scale Porsches you can get 917s, as I showed you before when I did my first video back in, I don't know, back in April was it? Go back and have a look. I called it a brand new release from Pocher. And yeah, I compared it to the others. One of them's £13,000. This one's about 789, I think. So yeah, adding the cylinder banks, building up the exhaust. They can get a nice coat of white paint and everything. And then we've got the engine mounts going in there by the look of it. And then we're going to build up the cylinder heads with the valve covers on them. Again, we've got no internal detail, but there's plenty of detail there to look at. There's not a lot of detail here on the top of the crankcase. That's because it all gets covered up by a great big cooling duct for the fan on the top. That's the big, if you fit in this part here, that's the big drive for the fan. And then we've got the intake trumpets, or the intake nozzles going down, and then the or you're gluing them up in there first, and then that's going down. Again, you might want to get a big Kevlar decal on this because it had this sort of Kevlar resin look to it. Go and look at pictures. There's thousands of pictures of 917s on Google. You won't be short of reference material. Then we've got the fuel injector pump and distributor there. And then we've got the, this is building up the front cover of the engine. So we've got lots of tubing. Rather than using that horrible moulded vinyl stuff, they've used tubing on this, which is far superior in my opinion. And then when you want to get it to, you know, if you want it to go around a tight curve and hold an S shape or something, just put a piece of wire inside it. Just get a bit of copper wire, take the sheathing off or leave the sheathing on, stick it inside, then you can bend the tube in, glue the ends on, and it will stay there forever. So, and you'll see me doing that. We've also got a pulley going on there with a belt. We've got another belt there. So that belt's going onto the alternator there, and this one's just sitting. That one's going to go onto the fuel injector there. So fuel injection distributor. That's probably going to be a timed belt there, I'm imagining, unless it's just a constant pressure pump. And I don't know. I don't know a lot about these older engines. I wish I knew more. Right, so that one's going to go like that one's going to go like that, and that one's going to go like that. Right, there we go. So coming along here, we've got more detail going underneath. This is on the top of the engine now. We've just fitted that. Okay, so we're adding this. I was forgetting. We fitted that. Now we're going to fit this, and we've got the two distributors going on. Yes, there's two distributors. It's a flat 12. It's a double 6, if you like. So that's going on, and you can see there's the completed engine up to this stage with our big air intakes, and it's looking lovely and detailed. And I can tell you now, you get that carbon fibre, the Kevlar decaling on there, it's going to look stunning. It's very, very visible, this engine, so it's worth taking your time, making it look pretty, making it look purdy. And then over here we're going to add our ignition lines. So you can see here we've got all the lengths of all the lines numbered 1 to 12, and then all the lengths listed down here. And then we've got a distributor cap showing there. This is for the right bank, and then we got for the left bank, it's all over here. Here we go, guys. Pause into cough. Right, so that's going there. Now we're going to add, looks like the throttle linkage and stuff is going in. We've got these metal exhaust pipes going in. That's one of the things I like about this model when you look at it from behind. It's got these thin metal exhausts. Some of the others have plastic, which looks a lot worse than this one. So we've got the throttle linkage, it looks like, going in there. Yeah, that's going onto the injector pump. And then where's this end going? Not sure. It'll all become clear when you actually build the model. And then we're going to start on the space frame. This is going to be the fun part of the model. I've been looking at this and I'm wondering if this is the base. So this is the main roll hoop by the look of it. And then this is going to be the sides. This is going to be the front, this is going to be the back. And we've got the sides going in and everything there. So this is the base of the space frame. And then we're going to drop the engine in. And then we've got all these tubes going in. And it looks like these have all got to be glued. They've got a exclamation mark there, but there's no clue as to what they mean. Maybe they're going to add that at a later date, I don't know. But just pay attention. I guess it's saying pay attention to where it's going. So yeah, we've got some pipe there. It looks like we might have a vinyl pipe there, or it's a solid plastic piece. And we've got two cylinders going on there. That's probably ignition coils, actually. That's probably ignition coils there. Okay, and then we're adding the top of the space frame and everything in. Now I've been looking at this and I'm wondering if what we can do is build this space frame up, because this has all got to be glued, paint it all, and then take the bottom off, because the bottom is screwed on. Okay, I wonder if we do that. Take the bottom off and then drop the engine in from underneath. So what I'm going to look at, because it would be a shame to paint all this up nicely or even use the parts as per painted in the box and then have glue marks everywhere. That would be a real shame. So it'd be nice to assemble the top of the space frame and then put the engine underneath. We shall see. We shall see if it's possible. And I'll be the one to try it out and let you know. Then we're on to the interior. So here, there's a lot going on here. We've got the space frame going in underneath the instrument panel. We're adding all the dials and decals and everything for the instrument panel. We've got the steering wrap going together. We've got the gear there for the steering. That's going to go onto the end of the steering column. Steering wheel going on. Little switch panel there. There's some bracketry here. There's a lot going on in this little stage. So that's going to be a good couple of hours work there at least. And then here we're building up the sides with the space frame. I think this is the sides. Yes, this is the sides. So this is probably fuel tank. This is probably where the fuel tanks were, down the sides of the driver, just like on the GT40. And then we're adding all this. This is a big die-cast floor pan. So we're going to add all this on the front wishbone, and us going in with some pins. You can see there the pins. So that's nice, rather than having screws going in. It'll be a lot more, I'm hoping it'll be a nice tight fit so they don't have a lot of rock in them. But the big wide wheels means the wheels won't rock anyway, so don't worry about that. So that's all going down. We've got M screws holding that in, and then we've got screws coming up holding that in, so that's all good. So that will be screwed together. So there we are. Oh, and then here we're coming in, building up all the pedal assembly now. So we've got the pedals and the master cylinders and everything going in. So we've got a footrest as well there. And that's all going to go and get screwed into the front floor there. So we've got loads of scope for adding some paint and everything in here, making it all look beautiful. Now we have the steering arm. These are the, I can't remember the name of them now, tie rods, that's it, tie rods going in. We've got the front suspension going in, so we've got shock absorbers with springs, so we can get those all painted up and everything looking pretty. They were probably Coney or Bilstein or something, so they would have been red or blue. Probably Bilsteins being German. And then that's all going together like that. So yeah, we got pins going in here. Yes, there's pins going in there. So those pins, these wishbones are going to go into these holes. It's not made very clear, but I'll show you when I build it. And that pin's going to go in, then there's another pin going in behind it. So that's not going to be that easy. We may be able to do that. No, we can't. I was thinking maybe I'll do it before we get this floor, but that's where the pins are going to be going. It's into those end pieces there. So it's looking very, very nice, isn't it? And we're building up our disc brakes, and here we're actually doing it all together, just like I did on the Lambo, rather than leaving it till the end. So you can paint up your calipers and everything, put your discs on, add your calipers, and then put the uprights on. Looks like the calipers are screwed on, so that's cool. So yeah, it's all going to be very, very nice. And I'm not sure if this is die cast or not, because I can't see that everything here is going to be die cast. It's bound to be plastic parts, so I could have been wrong with my assumption of DC meaning die cast. Then we've got this is the front panel now for the, I'm sure this is the front panel. Or is that the rear of the cockpit? I'm not sure where this is going. This may be the rear of the cockpit. We've got a couple of coils there by the look of it. I thought we had coils on the back. So again, I could have been wrong. We've got some brake master cylinders going, not master cylinder, reservoirs go in there. Looks like we've got a water pot there for the windscreen washers, more space frame. And this is all going to be glued and screwed and everything. Looks like they've made these out of plastic, so we don't have those silly vinyl pipes on there. Very nice indeed. And then here we're adding all the brake cooling ducts. They're showing you here how it goes, and these are the cooling ducts for the pilot, the driver, if you like. Very good. Very nice indeed. Okay, so there's that panel. So yeah, that panel was the rear of the cockpit, as I thought. It was the rear of the interior. We've got that piece going in there. We've got two seats going in. Remember, regulation stated they had to have two seats, so you'd only have harnesses in one seat. The seat wasn't actually used, it was just there for regulation purposes. GT40s had them initially as well. So you've got two sets of harnesses here. They're telling you to cut your strips to length and everything. And as you saw in the picture I showed you earlier, they're all sort of sticking up a bit. So get them go down, you can soak them in something and hold them down or whatever. But a little drop of super glue, just keep them down, make them look weighted. And there we have the gear linkage going in. And then here we're adding the intake trumpets. Okay, so this is going off the top of the engine. We're adding the intake trumpets, and we've got all the fuel lines here, and they're going to go into that fuel distributor, which is over here. So that's going to be quite tricky to do. But probably recommend put those pipes on like that, have that upside down, put all the pipes in, and then bring it over. But we'll see when we build it, because I will be building it. Then we've got these side areas here. I'm assuming this is like an oil tank or something. This could be a hydraulic tank of some sort. I'm not sure. Could be a reservoir for the gearbox. And we've got what looks like a fuel pump, filter. That could be an oil filter, oil lines. There's all sorts of hoses and stuff going on. And then we've got the other side here, and that looks like the fuel filler, fuel pumps again. More vinyl piping going in. And you can see it's very, very nice, very beautifully done. Well thought out as well by the look of it. Suspension arms going in, these are the lower wishbones. Hang on. Yes, they're the lower wishbones. So you've got pivots on there with this bit sandwiching them in there. You've got this tank going on the back there. And then here we've got the actual engine subframe, engine space frame going into the floor. And then we're bringing in these sides. So we've got the fuel stuff over here and the oil stuff over here. So that's all the oil side of everything, and that's the fuel side of everything. And then here we're adding some detail up underneath. We've got the drive shafts going in, so we've got the lovely rubber donuts, we've got UJs, we've got all sorts, got lots and lots of detail. Beautiful, and it's telling us to add some water decals here. Anti-roll bar, rear upright, you can see the rear upright there. Again, disc brakes going together, shock absorber all in one. Very nice. And then the same again on the other side. Then we've got the inner rear fenders with the wiglets on the back, or the parts that go underneath the wing on the back. And then we're telling us to add some decals to the bodywork here. You might decide to leave that to the end in case you damage them or something. But I don't know why you would fit them now. Unless they're telling you to fit them to make sure you get the correct alignment, but you could always do that at the end. There could be a reason why they're telling us to do this now, and it will become clear when we get the kit in our hands. Here we've got the spare wheel with the tiny tyre. Again, regulations said they had to carry a spare wheel, but it was generally smaller than the original, so it was lighter and smaller, didn't take up so much room. So, and there we've got the main anti-roll bar there going in, or another bar going in by the look of it. And then we've got our straps here to hold the spare wheel down. So buckles there, a little bit of super glue, get those glued together, it'd be lovely. And then we've got the doors, so this is looking up inside the bodywork. So you've got the doors going in, you've got the hinges going in, and then we've got this frame, this internal frame for the window. That's interesting. I wonder what that's all about. It's got to be glued in. That'll be interesting. And then we're adding the rear body on. We've got a big bracket there holding the hinges in, and then we've got the rear windscreen there, so that's going to have to be glued into there. So hopefully that's plastic, so we can use extra thin to glue that in rather than the problems we had on the, not problems, but you know, having to use white glue in the Lamborghini. Maybe that'll snap in, we shall see. And then we've got a latch there going on that holds the rear down onto the space frame. And then we have all the headlight internals going in, making sure we get these headlights the right way round. Then we're adding the glazing to the doors, main windscreen. Again, we've got this exclamation mark. They're telling attention. I don't know why they're saying attention. Maybe it clicks in behind that frame we've just fitted from inside. I don't know. And then these will go in. I would really suggest MIG ammo glue for gluing these in because it's strong and dries clear. And if you do mess up, you can just wipe it away. You know, if you put them in, you find it all oozes in behind the glass. Just remove the glass, clean everything up with water, let it dry, and then start again. Or what you can do is, like you saw me do on the Lamborghini, you can put a couple of spots on just to hold it in, let it tack in place, and then go round, get some MIG ammo glue, thin it down with water, roughly 50-50, and then just paint it round with a brush, let it capillary in, and then go around with a wet cotton bud and remove the excess. And you'll end up with a perfect invisible joint. Windshield wipers going there. This is the old type, so you've got the actual windscreen wiper doing that, and then you've got the other arm which keeps the blade straight across the vertical on the glazing. And then we're actually adding the body down onto the floor pan itself. So lots of screws going up in there, holding that down. So going over the page here, we're fitting these are the side sills going on. Looks like these are plastic. So that's all good. I don't think we're going to have an issue here with colour match because that light blue colour is very easy to match. So I don't think we'll have any problems there. Front wheels going on, tyres. They're telling you to heat the tyres up in water. I would suggest just using a a hairdryer quickly, and when you do, be very careful because these Firestone and the stripes on the tyres may well start to come off on your fingers, so make sure you push them on from the inside out, and then if you do damage the lettering, it's on the inside. If indeed they're lettered on both sides, they may only be lettered on one side. And then you've got these decals going on for the stripes on the wheels, and then we're doing the same there on the rear, adding a rear wheel and then adding another rear wheel. Okay, so we've got the wheels being assembled, you've got to glue those together and then fit the tyre on. So make sure you glue those on, leave the glue to dry, let it make sure it's absolutely solid before you start putting the tyre on, or the wheels start coming apart on you. And then we're going to turn over, adding yet another cover, some more trumpet parts, and then we've got these intake covers going on here. A couple of little gurney flaps going on the back with the little actuators on them, or supports, and then we've got the bonnet going on. So that's why they were telling us earlier, make sure you fit the bonnet, probably because those windscreen wipers go through the hole. So that's where they're telling us to do the decals now, and back then, and not leave it to the end. And then here they're showing us where all the decals go. So we've got the ignition switch there, we've got the number 1 going on the side with a split in it, so make sure you get that one nicely lined up, and yeah, it'd be beautiful. And then here finally we got the optional display case, big screws going up underneath, screws going in the end. As I say, that won't come with the kit, that's going to be sold separately. And then we've got a page there for notes, and on the back we've got the Pocher logo here, all about Hornby, how you can get in touch with them, where's their website, and also we got here some credits to the to Porsche and to Golf. So, and Total is the owner of the Golf marques in Spain and Portugal. So we've got Porsche, Golf and Total. So there we are, guys. That is the brand new 1/8 scale Pocher Porsche 917, and I've got to be honest, I cannot wait to get my hands on it. It looks beautiful, and from the images I showed you earlier, it does look like a little stunner. By the way, guys, I just remembered, I forgot to say, in the comments below this video, not in the comments, in the description below this video, directly below, you can go in there and you can click on a link that will take you to the Pocher website where you can find out more about this beautiful model. If you use that link, it lets them know how much traffic I'm giving them. So you'll be doing me a favour in improving my reputation with Pocher, and then they send me stuff, which is cool. But it's also doing you a favour because it means you get to see it, and in some cases you'll get to see it, like now, before it's actually released. So there we go. So thank you for watching. Keep your eyes peeled. If you hit that subscribe and hit the notifications bell, you'll see when my videos come up. I do a wide range of plastic kits and all sorts of stuff, but you'll be seeing this one featuring on the channel very, very soon. So thank you for watching. Bye for now.